Hey guys, today I'm going to change it up a bit and I wanted to talk about Ben Simmons and if he really was a good player in the NBA and if he did have this drastic fall off. Now, if you're not familiar, Ben Simmons was just waived by the Brooklyn Nets and picked up by the Clippers. So we'll see what happens in the future with that, but it kind of got me thinking, how do we go from the number one overall pick, a guy that's supposed to take Philadelphia, bring him to the promised land, and be this great sensation. People compared him to LeBron James. People said he was going to be the best player for the next decade, and now he's being waived from the Brooklyn Nets of all teams. So it got me thinking, was this guy, is it fair to be banging on him, thrashing on him, being this complete bust, or was he just never not, was he never just not that good? So I think we just got to go back to his rookie season, right? Guy was drafted number 1 overall, doesn't play his rookie season, he's injured. So I guess his quote-unquote rookie season in 2017-2018, I'm going to call it his rookie season because he was able to steal the Rookie of the Year from Jason Tatum that year, even though it wasn't truly his rookie season. Let's look at his stats. So his first year, fully playing with the Philadelphia 76ers, right? He averages 15.8 points. Okay, he has 8.1 rebounds, 8.2 assists, 1.7 steals, and guys averaging 33.7 minutes in 81 games, right? That is awesome. This is exactly what you want to see out of your first round pick, a guy that can go in there and is an immediate impact player. The only knock that we see, and it was a concern coming in, obviously, was his 3-point shooting, which he doesn't even attempt, or he attempts 11 in his rookie year. He attempts 11 3-point shots, misses every single one of them, has a 0% shooting. But you know what? He's a rookie. They brought him in because of his driving ability, his finishing ability, his field goal percentage. His rookie year is 54%. We'd love to see. Guy was just pretty dominant to be as a rookie. And now Philadelphia fans got to be excited. They got to be like, wow, we have this guy. If he can just work on his shooting a little bit, progress in year 2, he's going to be a stud, and we're going to be a problem. So year 2, 2018 to 2019, he is now averaging 16.9 points a game. So he has seen a little bit of an increase, but not as much as you were hoping to see in year 2. He's getting a little bit more rebounds, 8.8. His assists are down though to 7.1 or 7.7. And again, he is shooting 0% from the 3. And I don't think we've ever seen a first overall pick shoot 0%. Like that, I think that is just mind-blowing. That you are a professional basketball player. This is what you do for a living. You are making a lot of money to do this, and you can't shoot the 3 ball. Like that is it's just crazy. And I think right there was a big red flag for a lot of people, being like, wow, this is a great athlete, but he's not an NBA caliber player or all-around player. And if you're not an all-around player and can play the game in different facets, people are going to exploit those, and we end up seeing that later on when teams started just giving Ben Simmons the 3-point line. So after his second year with 76ers, we start seeing Ben Simmons on the decline. He's only plays 57 games. His third year in the league, 4th year is 58, and then he goes to the Nets. He goes to the Nets and only plays 42, 15, and then this year he's played 33 games. And on the Nets, he is pretty abysmal. He's averaging 6.9, 6.1, and 6.2 points. He never really flourished, and I think that's because once teams really crack the code, right, when I talked about you need to be a complete player, right? He was a good defensive player. He could drive, but the guy couldn't shoot, and I don't think we've ever seen that out of a first overall pick, a guy that just couldn't shoot from 4 feet away from the hoop. Anything outside of that, it was like he was in no man's land, and he was completely lost. He was out at sea with nothing but a paddle, or nothing but his hands. I don't even know. This guy was that bad. And so when people talk about, oh my God, Ben Simmons is the biggest bust ever. Ben Simmons, we've never seen anything like it. I think we have, honestly. I don't think the bust is as big as people make it seem. I think he had so much hype because of his athletic ability. Like, dude could jump. Dude was so good. It was great on defense. And you kind of got excited, and you were just hoping that he could progress his game. And we've seen countless players be able to increase their shooting, right? Even just a few percentage points. And this guy can't even get better than 0%. He only had 2 seasons where he shot over 25%, and that's only because he hit 2 threes out of 7 shots or 3 threes out of 10 shots. So he only had 28% three-point percentage or a 30 three-point percentage. Like, that's not great. You don't want to see that. Those are basically just the luck of the draw because he started shooting. So I think Ben Simmons gets a lot of hate because he was the first overall pick and people were excited. But when you look at it, he was really just a very athletic guy who could drive to the rim. And once teams realized, listen, let's just clog the lane and make it so he has nowhere to go, and he can't shoot the ball, there's nothing he can do. And that literally, once you see when teams started doing that, his assists started going down. He was only averaging 6. He was still getting boards. I mean, the guy's still tall, and he was still good at defense. But he just couldn't get assists anymore because he wasn't able to drive the lane and get open. And he was just passing around the perimeter. He was basically he was as good as a cone, honestly, if you want to be a very good defensive cone. That's all Ben Simmons is now. And so, who knows? Maybe the Clippers can work on it and use him. I just don't know how you utilize him at this point. When the guy's proven that he has no ability to get better at shooting the basketball, all he can do, and now is, and let's talk. I haven't even gotten into. I can't even get it out of my mouth. I haven't even gotten into his confidence. This guy's confidence is completely shattered. He won't even do layups half the time. Like, I think he is way too over his head now. His confidence is completely drained, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of the league in the next 2 years just because of that. Just because he's such a he's too useless on the offensive side of the floor. Maybe he can be utilized as a guy for defensive purposes if you have a very great offense and you can practically play with 4 guys on offense and then have 5 guys on defense. But other than that, I don't really see a recipe how Ben Simmons can be utilized in the NBA because he's just can't stay healthy, 1. So he's just taking up a roster spot, and 2, he can't benefit you on offense anymore. So unless he's able to improve his 3-point shooting or any kind of shooting outside of 4 feet from the hoop, I don't see Ben Simmons really being that good, and I don't think he really fell off that badly as much as he just never reached his potential. So I don't think he was ever that as elite as he could be. He had 2 good seasons early on in his career, and that's just because he was such an athletic specimen. And he was never able to keep progressing in the manner that you want to see a young player progress, especially if you wanted to be a franchise player. So that is what I believe is what's going on with Ben Simmons and where he's going to be. I don't think the fall off was as crazy as people are saying, mainly because he never reached the upper echelon where he wanted to be and where fans wanted to see him. Thanks for watching, and tune into my next video.